you know, 100 Agent Smiths out there. Well, the Queen of Hearts, world ranked #1 at 26 years old. The moment I was talking about yesterday, she was playing Miu Hirano, the pride of Japan at the moment, who shocked the world, beating Zhu Yuling, beating Ning, and beating Chun Meng to become Asian champion at the Asian Championships, doing the unthinkable, giving hope to the whole world. And as you can imagine, well, that inspired a lot of people. It inspired one nation especially to make sure that they're well prepared. And China finding people who play similarly to Miu Hirano to really make sure that the players come back prepared and get their experience for those fast off the bounce receives and quick attacks and all that pressure. Ning yesterday at 9-5 wins a point, up 3-1 against Miu Hirano, throws her fist in the air with her 10th point and screams Chole, walks over with her hand out to the umpire, and nobody is moved. And the crowd starts to laugh. She turns and looks in shock, and everyone's laughing, and she puts her hand right on her face. Coach Lee immediately calls a timeout, says we've got to get her back in the zone. She's clearly lost focus for a minute. She was so focused, as she said, on the point that she wasn't thinking at all about the score and had completely lost count. That close to getting revenge for a loss at the Asian Championships, but now the biggest tournament of the year, and Ning looking to retain a title. In recent years, she's been a 2-time star athlete at the ITTF Star Awards, so the fans around the world love her. You can always see the Ning fan club, from illustrations online to signs in the crowd and hats. She's well followed, and Zhu Yuling is going to be working her way in her career up to similar popularity. But we'll see, it's going to take a few years, and it could start right here today with this women's singles final. Look at that. That's the power and the placement, an inside-out forehand down the line.
Now that's a good start there. Good serve following. And what an incredible angle she got down there.
It always concerns me the way Ning covers the middle with that forehand, because she leans to the side, and it's just so reminiscent of that ankle roll in Game 7 in Suzhou 2 years ago. Beautiful combination, wide serve to the forehand, deep to the backhand corner, and then the down the line forehand shot for the winner. Now Ning is also very gracious. She's very, I'd say she interacts, as long as it's not right before a big match, she's interacting and very thankful to her fans, very grateful to everyone.
See this variation now in the serve. I wonder what serve she'll do this time. Seems to like playing the service to the middle of the table, cutting out the angle.
Now, when we talk about service in the women's game, there are no services more iconic than those of Ning. Reverse tomahawk is a serve that we don't see. I guess Kenta Matsudaira, Ning, and very few others do this in the game. And even the swan pose on the pendulum serve. The power comes back once again. Zhu Yuling with the first point, then loses 5 in a row, only now breaking the momentum of the Queen of Hearts, world #1. Not only the standing world champion, but the Olympic gold medalist in Rio, silver medalist in 2012. Not going to come down, painting the corners of the table once she's got Zhu Yuling backed off the table. This is just what we talked about before. They're both comfortable off the table if they need to be there. Very persistent, never out of the point. See how much back Zhu Yuling got into that, starting from the legs, really using the whole body to generate some spin and power.
Oh, good service there again. Serve into the middle. And she steps round. There's a forehand, a diagonal to the backhand side.
And it was such a long stroke, too. I mean, by the time the racket contacts the ball, there's so much racket speed generated. Makes it quite difficult, even for world number 1 to handle. The parallel shot surprises Yuling. She has to back up and get the racket up to the forehand. Nice opening backhand, but the pace, Ning on fire right now. Very clever. Long push to the middle of the table. Surprise. Backs Yuling off the table and gives her more ground to cover side to side. The long push can be very useful as long as it's surprising. Though I think pretty much everything in table tennis is better when it's spiked with a bit of surprise.
Certainly. And also with if you can get a lot of backspin as well, that makes it difficult. See that one there, you can see she really chopped it, used her wrist.
Yeah, deceptive, say very subtle, heavy underspin pendulum serve from Yuling.
Went a bit long there. Ning stepped in. Take that long ball. Anything long and she'll be stepping in.
That's right. Now she's got 6 game points to take the first in this best-of-7 final. Right idea, but Yuling can't serve here in black. Warp speed out here. This is why they brought the lightsabers in. Yuling and Ning testing each other, and a lot more forehands in this rally than you normally see in the women's game this close to the table. This is just their physical fitness and their reaction time. The speed is so fast. So a little fun fact for you, this is the 15th all-Chinese women's singles final at a World Championships, and if Ning wins, she will join her predecessors Wang Nan and Deng Yaping, who each have 3 World Championships singles titles.
She's in very good company then.
Yeah, that's right.
Happens.
Those are 2, arguably, so Deng Yaping is regarded by many to be the greatest woman to ever play table tennis, despite being told that she couldn't play because she was too short at first. At 4'11", that's about 147 centimeters. She really stood barely above the table, but stayed so close and was so aggressive. For 8 years was number 1 in the world.
A great player, and then when she finished her career, she came to England to study at Nottingham University.
Right now.
She got a degree, master's degree, and then a doctorate, so.
Right now, I think fans are going to want to study this point very hard, because corner to corner, who else can run around Ning quite like that? Yuling proving, I mean, beating Liu Shiwen is quite impressive. But if she can beat Ning out here and take the title, this will be quite amazing.
Both players playing the ball around the table, some on the diagonal, some in straight down the line into the body. Great variation of placement.
Now another female player who's been considered the greatest of all time by many, Zhang Ning, has only won this twice, so Ning would step ahead in World Championship titles. Interestingly, the record for most women's singles titles is Angelica Rosanel Edelstein from Romania, who won 6 consecutive World Championships from 1950 through 1955. Back when the individuals was happening every year as opposed to now when it's every other. Beautiful use of the topspin, and we talked about respect between players, the camaraderie. We don't hear a lot of choing, but Yuling chose this one up big time early on. That angle, you can see the celebration. You know, some players play better when they're fired up. We've got Tomokazu Harimoto here, who every point plays like it's the final point of the World Championships, and it pays off for him. Only 13 years old, and he's beaten the 9-time Japan national champion.
She's firing now on all cylinders. looking to get in whenever possible. Takes the ball very early, very strong.
Yeah, when we think about firing, Ning started the game up. We've got a reverse tomahawk coming up. Get ready, folks. If this is your first time watching televised table tennis, this is definitely one you're going to remember. It will not come down on the table. Look how fast, long, and deep wide to the forehand that serve goes. And that's the thing, Ning with the backside of the racket for that reverse tomahawk serve can play it anywhere on the table with such variety of spin. It's very tough, especially for foreigners to deal with. Long again, this time to the middle, plays it right back to the backhand corner for the winner.
It's interesting she hasn't played that service at all in the first game or so far, but she played it twice there, 1-2 points.
Right, when you have so many serves, I think whatever's working, you try to stick with, and Dmitry Ovtcharov, you know, has a few signature serves that we didn't see come out too much. His tomahawk serve was very effective for a while. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Ning using that reverse tomahawk more after winning 2 points pretty quickly with it. Yuling is going to have to prove that she has a good response on the receive. So 3 points in a row from down 2-6. Ning against serve with a chance to tie it up. Oh, too wide, inside out forehand, an angle that didn't even look possible, and Ning with the clinched fist. Very much working for it. 4 points in a row. It looked like Yuling could make this a 1-1 game quite quickly from the start of this game, but not the way Ning's playing. And again, left-handed players do tend to play inside out off the side of the table. We saw it with Koki Niwa. We've seen it with Lin Gaoyuan, Xu Xin. Get ready for another reverse tomahawk serve. Forehand side of the racket this time, traditional tomahawk, and she wins the point, mixing it up. And this is important, right? You do 2 serves in a row from the same side of the racket, something that looks a little similar but might change the plan of the receiver if they think they know what's coming. And look at this. This time a short serve. Looked like mostly side and a little bit of topspin from Ning. What a difficult ball to keep on the table as a server, let alone the receiver. Now, Jill, you played with so many different styles of rackets. I have to imagine you were a bit of a serve master yourself.
Well, I wouldn't say so because I was a defensive player. So I think you try and, you know, whenever possible, when it's your service, you look to follow in, but you're trying to contain it more than win the points. I would say defensive players now do, but when I played, which is obviously a few decades ago, that wasn't the case.
A few decades ago, I wasn't the case. Beautiful pace from Yuling out wide. Ning had 7 straight points before this point for Yuling. She was down 2-6 and up now only 9-7. But quite an impressive feat. Serves back to Ning. If she takes them both, she takes the game. Just incredible speed. You want to laugh watching this because how can they do it so many times back and forth? And they're very conscious of where they're hitting the ball. We're talking about pinning the middle, opening up backhands. Yuling even turns to get the forehand in from the middle. To be as hard of a hitter as Yuling is and still generate the power she does with such a short stroke from the middle. I mean, we're looking at a future world champion, whether it's now or a few years from now. Yuling has what it takes.
Mixed it up there. Ning put a slow one in, but Yuling took it quickly off the bounce. Tie it up, 9-all.
Now, similarly, even though she's the taller of the 2 players, Ning is good at covering the middle as well with her forehand, which is the more expensive way to do it. And that's why we see Vladi and other tall players use their backhand a little bit more out on the elbow side. Again, she is left-handed, so she's going to want to use the forehand to create that opening angle wide to the forehand side. Off the net, up and out. Yuling back in position. 4 straight points for Yuling. This has been a roller coaster, a tug of war. And right now, Yuling is saying, gimme, gimme. She's got game point to tie it up at 1 game apiece. Tries it after the wide shot out to the forehand to bring it back to the backhand, but Yuling keeps the pressure on and earns the cho. She earns game. Jill and I having a little conversation about how the women's game has changed and how fast they are, how early they take the ball in these rallies.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I used to see them play a lot of backhand to backhand, but they're running around using their forehand. Placement is all around the table. If it's played into the body, they're round playing forehands. Footwork really quick, but very quick use of the wrist and forearm, taking the ball early.
Yeah, and I think you said it, with those forehand shots, those are the ones that impress me the most. With these fast rallies, they take longer to hit, and yet still the physical conditioning of these women, they're able to do it and stay in the fast rally. Again, China, the innovator for table tennis. A rare occasion someone else comes up with something, and when they notice it can improve the game, working very hard to incorporate it. Oh, surprise, surprise. That almost looks similar to the reaction yesterday after the celebration at 10-5 for Ning. Didn't think this one was going to come down. Whoop. Would have been so cool if she could lob it up onto the table. We've seen similar things happen from Ning. Nope, wait, not over yet. Ah, too late. And the push goes long. Yuling with an early lead. Remember, she was up 6-2 last game. Still managed to hang on after losing 7 points in a row. So we see a little bit of tape, skin-colored tape on the arm for Yuling on the racket arm. Generally where the tape is going to be. Again, warp speed from Yuling. She just looks her opponent in the eyes. Almost like, yeah, you remember that? Remember what just happened? You feel that? Now she's back on and clearly focused about her second serve, but these rallies are so long and so fast. I guess time-wise, they're not super long, but the amount of shots in them, it's incredible. Most shots in a rally in a single minute. World record held by 2 women. Yeah!
Oh, what a fantastic rally that was.
Just when you think it can't get any better, they find a new space. They are raising the bar. I was wondering at one point, Yuling looks like she's going to have to lob here. No, let's go backhand. Has to lob here. No, she keeps it deep on the table. The fact that she can keep her racket so closed, keep her balance and composure, and stay centered at the table, it's just mind-blowing. "22 years old, Yuling. Not this time, moving back to the middle of the table. Ning with the step around, plays it wide to the forehand side. Brilliant shot from the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, put her under pressure right from the word go with that service. It's as if she's a bit tentative on receive.
Speaking of Queen of Hearts, did you see it? They had the crown and the heart. Ning fan club. Ning Jiao. Not this time. Yuling has seen the step around from Ning, breaks up the pattern and sends it wide to the forehand side. And when Ding Ning tries to answer with a high-risk shot to the short side of the table, there's just less forgiveness. Less margin for error, if you will. Similar tactic right back. She's got Ding Ning in the backhand corner, leaving open the wide forehand for the parallel winner. Oh, I'm on TV.
Change your pace. You know, it's top spin, put a slower one in, spinnier, taking it a bit later.
For me, this is a really good point for Ding Ning to win. She set it up well, Yuling, early on into the body, getting her to turn for a forehand. Back edge of the table, Yuling. Could hear a little bit of premature cheering for the Ding Ning fan club. Man, the edge balls, just thinking that's a very faint edge, but even fainter, Xu Xin against match point at 6-10 on his way to saving 5 match points against Ling Gaoyuan.
Oh, serves off.
Clever idea. If that's on the table, it's going to be trouble. Yuling will quickly be away from the table. Rarely do we see a tomahawk serve from the forehand, wide to the forehand, that's this close to being an amazing serve. And now back to the traditional pendulum serve.
If that had gone on, could it have been an ace?
I think it would have been. Difficult ball to play from out in front, shallow in near the net. Soft hands from Ding Ning to leave it up there. Again, the term unforced error is a term that I don't think I had used before this tournament. At least not, it's very infrequent. But they're registering unforced errors, and I think that might go down as one for Yuling. Again, she's trying to be ambitious, though. She's looking to get in whenever she can.
Oh, speed of that. Not a diagonal, getting into the body. Keeps changing direction, keeping Ding Ning guessing.
Compare for a moment the sweat on the faces of these two. Yuling looks dry as ready for a photo shoot. Still fanning her face from time to time. Maybe it's just that the fringe or the bangs are there, but Ding Ning has sweat dripping all over the brow. Nice step around. We haven't seen too many step rounds, and from the right-handed player, it's less expected. It's less a signature part of the game to create that wide angle. I think those fans are going to be very happy with the result of this match, at least coming back to China. So there it was. The first opportunity with 6 game points, only 1 needed. Yuling 11-4, the most dominant game since what? Game 1, we'll see the scores in a moment. But a 2-1 lead for Yuling over the Queen of Hearts and the defending world champion. Stay right here, Game 4 coming up after this.
Oh, great one down the line. Fast and furious play. That first point. The 4th game. Taking it so early. Moving round the table. And that great one down the line.
Absolutely. See if we can see similarly fast and furious play from Ding Diesel out here. Excellent angle with the parallel, the backhand down the line, jamming up Yuling into the defensive submission. Some of my favorite points with Ding Ning involve one lobber, and usually it's Ding Ning, but I wouldn't be surprised. I could go either way here. I mean, they're both comfortable off the table, but they're both so aware of how important it is to stay in and keep the pace up.
Slow, spinny one there. Just changing the pace.
That's the most I've heard from Ding Ning since 10-5 yesterday in Game 5 against Miu Hirano. Chole Sosa, good 3 syllables, 4 syllables, I guess. Just shows you how much she wants to get in on this game, tie it up. Well-placed serve from Yuling. Not just height, but depth on the table. Ning quite comfortable in the receive game in general. So this one comes long to the forehand. It's clearly coming off the table. Yuling has her time. If it's not really fast and really wide, it's going to have to be into the body otherwise. Another outstanding rally in the forehand finishes it for Ning. Now, Jill, I don't know if you've ever tried. Oh, man.
Oh, little cutie.
I'm sorry. How can we not? This is the cutest thing. Earlier today, we had another one who smiled right into the camera. Look at that. Flag bearer at such a young age. Love it. I was going to say, I don't know if you've ever tried the reverse tomahawk serve, but it's so difficult to control. And Ning can put it anywhere on the table with such a variety of spins. Just amazing. Calm, she says. Calm.com for Yuling. It's also interesting, again, how some people play a little bit better when they're fired up and others. I think it depends on the moment, right? She can be fired up, but maybe she realizes she's getting a little too anxious, needs to relax, stay loose. She will find her shot. She just has to work for it. But a deceptive underspin serve on the pendulum, and it's an outright point.
It's very deceptive, you know, the spin-on service. Sometimes it can be very heavy backspin, sometimes no spin, side spin. That's the art of a good server.
This is not sped up. This is happening live. I see people comment on YouTube all the time, oh, this is sped up. That was actual real-time play, and that's just how fast they're playing, and Ning's ready to get every one of these forehands back. And the last one was a backhand, and Ning takes advantage to play it wider out to the forehand for the winner. The pace, it's just merciless out here, Jill.
So fast. They take it so early.
And this is one of the greatest things about seeing two players who are quite dominant on the world tour, is that they're a great match for each other. The ball, most of these shots would finish the rally against probably 95% of the participants in this tournament, even from the main draw on. It's a metronome of speed out here, turned way up. Started slow for the first about 6 shots by their standard, and as soon as someone turns up the heat, they can't turn it off.
And it's interesting how they're changing tactics. Sometimes they're playing backhand to backhand, sometimes they're playing to the middle of the table.
Right, I think in general we do see a lot of backhand to backhand play in the women's game because it's such a short stroke. We got a timeout here. But yes, if you can get someone in the middle to turn and use the forehand, they're going to be out of position, and if you get them to step around a ball that's slightly on the forehand side of the elbow using the backhand, you've got a wide open backhand. So it's an investment in the next shot to create an opening wide to the corners. So timeout for Ning. Remember, neither player has a coach in the corner because they're from the same national association. This is typical, and it's quite common that we do see China finals. So we're very familiar with players calling their own timeouts. And for those of you a little bit newer to table tennis, you can see Ning rolling her ankles there, staying loose. Maybe a little flashback to Game 7 of 2015 in Suzhou versus Liu Shiwen, where she did roll her ankle and had to take an injury timeout that went about 10 minutes. She was down 0-2 in Game 7 and came back to win the match playing injured. From time to time, Jill, I've seen injuries that happen where when you play injured, you have to change your tactics. You know, Sharath Kamalachanta against Simone Gauzy. I think it was the same year in Suzhou 2015. Played injured, finished the match on top of the table. First point out of the timeout goes to Yuling. So we've yet to see the benefit for Ning. Bit of a morale boost for Yuling. Ning not going for the towel at the second towel break. Again, if you're a little newer to table tennis, towels allowed every 6 points to make sure that the players don't stall and they keep it moving for the fans. Oh, that's a break. From here, I was surprised to see Ning play it so soft. And again, it's tough to tell from this angle. It might have been a brilliant touch shot, but it looked like it sat up a little bit. Speaking of brilliant, those shoes are amazing. Sunshine on her feet.
You have to see her in the dark.
Keeps you safe, you know. She's got her whole career ahead of her. Big backhand and just as big of a choke right off the bounce, the wide angle. Again, a sold-out crowd here in Messe Dusseldorf. So much wrist. She really tucked back for the opening. But the opening didn't finish the point. It was the angle on the last backhand. Yuling really taking her time before the serve on the point, really, to get in. Didn't want the rally to be this long. She's so comfortable moving side to side and covering the table, Jill.
Yeah, great footwork. Very versatile. I wonder how many hours practice she's put on the training hall since she started playing. I bet it's a phenomenal amount of hours.
Yeah, I think if you have a calculator, that number won't fit. You'll need a computer. Oh, beautiful block redirection. That's the expensive forehand that we talk about from the middle. Ning committing to a full stroke. Yuling with a big point. This is her third world championship, and it's her first final. In women's singles, this is. She lost to Liu. She won the 2 previous world championships that she participated, but changed that record yesterday. Ning within 1 point.
Yuling's got to try and keep this service tight.
And after a receive like that to not win the point, she gets a full stroke. Towel break here. The way she got over to the towel so quickly, was almost wondering if she would use the timeout. Although 9-9, as Ian would say, probably a bit late in terms of score. It's ideal to still have your lead when you call the timeout if you can. That is the trend we see more and more. Yuling taking a bit more time than other players before the serves in tight moments. It is a judgment call for the umpires, though. Well played, the power from the backhand. Ning not satisfied. No question about it. After all this work, looking to make it 2-2. It's going to be the serve on the side of the game point. Outstanding point. Again, the recovery from Ning. We saw the tongue out there from Yuling. An expression that I think we could all feel. Love to see that point again, right from the start. Ning, just amazing. And Yuling brings everything back except that last ball. It's the closest to lobbing I think we've seen from Yuling in some time.
Yeah, I think Ning took a step back, got away from the table, took it a little bit later. But some great angles there she played.
10-9 in game 4. You have to remember that point later on in the match. We'll see. Could have been the turning point. Ning at deuce. Excellent combination, the inside-out forehand. A little bit of side spin on both of those shots puts it just out of reach for Yuling. And while the tides have turned 2 in a row, a game point saved and a game point earned for the Queen of Hearts. Perfect to hit it behind the momentum. Yuling recentering herself. It's tough to go right back where she came from rather than continuing on to the backhand side. And Yuling tried to stay away from the forehand, but could not prevail. It's Ning who saves the game, and we're tied up in 2 games each. This match is absolutely top quality, and it's going to be decided in a very close one here. Whoever takes the lead will take the next game, that's for sure. Game 5 coming up after this. Faster on average than Yuling. Very aggressive game from Ning. She continues with the momentum on her streak. Feels like it's been a while since we've seen so many short balls at the beginning of the rally. They've just had so many rocket back and forth, backhand, forehand exchanges all over the court.
They certainly have. There's very few short touch balls that we've had in this match.
It's almost like a break from all the action. Oh, edge of the racket, Ning floats it back up onto the table, arcs it up for that little lob and gets away with the points. You know, and I think watching that serve, it makes it clear why we don't see a lot of pushes. Ning so often using the long serve. I mean, fast and aggressive with that reverse tomahawk serve. But again, variation, it's unpredictable. Oh, just long. You want to see it come down. Yuling is so stubborn about making sure that she will not lob the ball. She's being as aggressive as possible, and this is one of the best qualities she has. I would say maybe persistent, chases that one down, and Ning corner to corner sends her way back. I think we saw Ning spin around to get a shot like that back on the table against Wu Yang, nominated for Point of the Year just a few years ago in China. And a similar test side to side. Makes you nervous whenever you see Ning go down to the ground like that.
She played Yuling. The first one was a lot harder. The first ball, taking it earlier, a little bit harder, puts Ning under pressure.
I feel like Yuling's going to have to take a timeout relatively soon. If things continue going the way they have been, the momentum in game, I guess 4, last game, and then here again, she just doesn't look like she's comfortable with the rhythm the way she was for the first 3 games. Her depth from the table as well.
Yeah, I think she likes to play very fast, but I think if Ning is occasionally putting a slower ball in, that breaks up the momentum.
Well, nothing wrong with that. No timeout needed after you hit a forehand down the line the way Yuling just did. This ball is punished, absolutely grounded here. Look at that inside out, little bit of side spin. Ning deep in thought. Excellent serve, forces a slightly weak receive. She's right in at the back of the table to take advantage for the 3rd ball. Back edge of the table for Yuling. Ning very quick to acknowledge it. You could hear the sound, the tick. using her power. Yuling puts a lot of pressure on Ning, but Ning uses her opponent's spin and speed and gives it right back. Check that out. The trippy side of table tennis. Don't worry, we saw it too. Ning with a 2-point lead. Reverse tomahawk on the way. Good placement there. Kept Ning from getting a lot of power. Yuling trading a bit speed for spin and placement there, right on the elbow. You can see a bit where the table is being used here. Statistics for the players, that was Ning before, and this is Yuling playing to the middle quite often, favoring the backhand side of Ning. Again, they're getting into the rallies quickly. You can see the percentages near the net were quite low. This is a sign of two players that just really aren't getting into the push game. They're going for attack quickly, straight for the jugular.
In with the forehand there from the backhand, but makes that error. Ning now 3 points ahead.
It wasn't long ago that she was close to being down 1-3 against the 22-year-old. Oh man, to stand in for that forehand flip kill, put the pressure right back on Yuling and then rip a backhand. I've seen some quality Ning play, but this point is absolutely top quality.
He hasn't played many at that pace in this match with that backhand.
Right, not generating her own. Without much speed coming in, that's quite impressive. A little bit off the top of the net, we saw the apology from Ning. But we are looking at 5 game points for a 3-2 lead. Remember, 8,000 seats in this place. The only empty seats you'll see are from people going to the bathroom or grabbing some food at the concession stand because it is sold out. Excellent receive. Slightly softer serve, and Yuling taking a big risk there with the rotation to play it wide out to the forehand. Saves her a game point. And what a performance. Ning from a very tight start of game 5 takes it 11 points to 6. And Yuling in trouble. Instead of 3-1 up, she's 2-3 down, and we'll be back. Game 6 coming up. Stay right here. Back for game number 6, Ning 1 game away from tying the legends of the sport, Deng Yaping and Wang Nan, with 3 world titles. And by world titles, I mean world championships, singles gold medals. Heavy topspin deep on the table, and here's the timeout from Yuling. What do you think it's going to take for Yuling out here, Jill?
Well, she's playing really well, but I think Ning is changing her tactics. She's varying the pace of the ball. I think Yuling likes it fast and furious. So I think she needs to sort of try and get in this game. 2-0 down. Obviously, she wants this timeout to get herself together.
We're just in this replay here, I will say the new black is bold table, and with the Nitaku balls, talking to Gavin Rumgay, we were saying how it really bites the table. The table's a bit grippier than usual, and with all the spin that Ding Ning's putting on her reverse tomahawk serves, we're really seeing some serious kick on the ball. We got some of the Chinese coaching staff off the table watching closely. Point here for Zhu Yuling. Again, it is just the start of the game, and considering it's late in the match, it was quite early in the game for a timeout. Usually we see a 3-point differential, whether it's 0-3, something like that, but Zhu Yuling taking a pretty quick timeout.
Yeah, that is quite unusual.
Sure is, but who knows Zhu Yuling better than Zhu Yuling herself? And I think that's important. As a player, when you're calling a timeout, your strategy really being aware of what you need at any given moment when you need a timeout. And she's using the fast ball now, giving back the topspin deep on the table, speeding up the points a bit, as you mentioned, Jill. Not this one. Ding Ning controls the pace. Big Chole, she's 2 points up at the first towel break.
It's interesting that Ding Ning is using the tomahawk serve most of the time now.
You know, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. This is, every once in a while, I'm sure you can experience, or say this from experience as well, you play someone who just doesn't have a good answer to your serve, so you can stay with it the whole match until Zhu Yuling proves otherwise to Ding Ning. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come out. A little bit off the top of the net, a risky long serve from Zhu Yuling, though, to get right into the rally. But Ding Ning handles well. And the third ball, the backhand from Zhu Yuling was a little bit more stiff than usual.
Ding Ning acknowledging her good fortune there, touching the net.
And for those of you a little newer to table tennis, the top of the net and the edge of the table, never intentional shots, but if it helps you out, breaks the rhythm of the opponent and it's a bit out of your control. In tennis you have the net, but the line is a little bit different because the bounce stays the same for the most part. Not quite the same as hitting the edge of the table. Nice side spin introduced from Zhu Yuling's backhand, kicking the ball into the body. And there's the cup they are playing for. It's been around for quite some time. We'll tell you about it in just a bit. It is the Geist Prize, which was donated in 1931 by the president of the Hungarian Table Tennis Association. This can't be real. It just can't. How fast can a human being move shot after shot? What an impressive display of matrix-like reaction time once again. Zhu Yuling changing it up all over the table. Ding Ning right on top of it, redirecting with the backhands. Look at the focus, trying to find the middle. Zhu Yuling one more time, and the turnaround doesn't finish it. It's the next shot after sending it deep to the backhand that finally gets Zhu Yuling out of position. There we go. How many does it take? I mean, the first forehand attack that Zhu Yuling rips wide to the forehand has to be followed up with an even harder shot.
She took that one so early. So much quicker than the ones before.
And the combination, too. I mean, she's going to the same spot in a very, very low percentage, right at the white of the line, wide to the forehand angle. This is some high-risk play, but sometimes this is what you need to do. You're playing #1 in the world. Your normal bag of tricks just isn't fooling her, isn't doing the job. She steps it up, now down 1 point. Excellent at the back of the table. Ding Ning with the full stroke, taking advantage of the push coming long.
You can see there, just slightly long, she's in.
And Ding Ning takes it from over the table, too. Watch where her racket is here when she contacts the ball. She really has to keep the body into the table. That's a satisfying point and could be crucial to the outcome of this match. The serve that we've seen so much throughout the match, reverse tomahawk. Nope, it's a traditional. Lobs. It looked like the point was over on 3 occasions in this point. For Yuling to stay positive right now is one of the toughest tasks. Look at this, running all around, gets it from about 6 inches above the ground. Steady attack there, nothing too big, and the pressure was just too much. The Lions roar from Ding Ning. Here's the one that's really low, maybe less than 6 inches off the ground. That ball was near a bounce. Huge point to hang on to the lead by now 3 points, extending her lead. Let's see what we get for a serve here. 2 tomahawks in a row. 2 points away from joining the legends of Chinese table tennis and therefore the legends of table tennis. No timeouts left. No lifelines. It all comes down. There are no coaches in the corners. Yuling in hot water right now. But a heavy underspin pendulum serve to the backhand side saves her a point. Not a game point, but 1 point coming back. And now we have 4 championship points for the Queen of Hearts. A look at her 3rd World Championship singles title. And Ding Ning has the serve on her side, Jill.
See if it's a serve and follow up.
Tomahawk serve, it's not over yet. You can see her trying to calm herself down. Again, you can almost taste it. The finish line is right there. The victory just 1 shot away. But sometimes it takes more than 1 shot. We'll see Ding Ning with her 2nd serve here. 3 championship points left. And that is it. Ding Ning does it again. This time, no ankle injury at all. She clean takes it in 6 games over world rank number 3, Yuling. The Queen of Heart is the queen of everything right now, and the fan club absolutely loving it. 3rd time for Ding Ning, women's singles world champion. Alongside Deng Yaping and Wang Nan, Ding Ning will go down as a legend of the sport, and 2017 is another year where Ding Ning is the queen. Jill, this has been an outstanding match of the highest caliber.
Fantastic game, fast and furious. A lot of spin, speed, deception. Great women's table tennis.
We see tears of joy yesterday out of Kasumi Ishikawa, but when you've got your fan club crying and hugging each other, you know something's working right. They weren't consoling each other, they were sharing a moment of excitement and joy to see Ding Ning retain the title and the throne. The scores were there on screen. We'll be back with some match statistics after the highlights for you. The look of a champion, the determination with the tomahawk serves and the reverse tomahawk serves throughout. We'll have a few words from our champion down on court with ITTF's Johnny Cowan. Stay right here. You're watching the 2017 Liebherr World Table Tennis Championships live in Dusseldorf.